Hello out there, check out the knife I have in front of you today. This right here is the HK Citation. And if you've watched any of my prior videos on the HK knives, I've mentioned these two in the past. This one right here being the HK Flak, and this one right here being the HK Unsub, which I reviewed a little bit more recently. But look in my history if you haven't seen these videos yet. Feel free to watch those. This knife right here, though, the Citation, is another in the line of HK knives produced by Benchmade, and these are knives that have been produced in China under the HK line. And so when you're out there shopping, some HK knives are still USA made, so be careful when you're shopping online that you buy a knife you know its origin. But that being said, these knives are pretty solid user knives. These ones, as far as I know, they're pretty much exclusive to Big 5 sporting goods. And so for those of you on the East Coast who don't have access to one, Big 5 is just a discount sporting goods retailer based here on the West Coast. A lot of them in California for sure. You can buy these online on their website, and they do go on sale from time to time. So you can see the box right here. The retail price is $44.99. And while they are good knives, don't pay that much for them online or in store. They do tend to go on sale from anywhere, depending on the sale, between $17 and $22, and at that price it's a pretty good steal. You can sign up for the online, I think it's like a coupon club with Big 5 Sporting Goods, and when they do that, then they have a pretty good deal, 10% off, 15% off sometimes, and you can get a pretty good deal on these under 20 bucks. So that is the recommended price point for these, and they perform very well for that price point. This video is a viewer request. Someone asked if I had purchased this knife because I mentioned the Citation in my video for the Unsub, and at that point I wasn't sure if I was going to purchase it or not, but of course then there was a sale at Big 5, I happened to be in the store, and it came home with me. So this one right here is very similar. Honestly, if you have all three of these knives in hand, they feel very similar in hand. You can tell they were built in the same factory. The G10 on this one is a little bit different in that it is a gray G10. And now it's called gray G10, but it's more this light bluish color, which I don't know if the camera picks it up, but when you're looking at it with your eye, it's kind of a light bluish color. So the gray G10, I like the look of it though. It looks nice. Telling that all these knives are in the same family, the pocket clip on all three are identical, the same style deep carry pocket clip that are fairly common on Chinese produced knives from any company. So that is just a one position only, tip down right hand side. But where I see an improvement in the Citation over these two knives here, these knives have opening holes, kind of similar to a Spyderco, and they work. And this one right here works a little bit better because I've used it more. But these knives are all assisted openers, so they have a spring in there or some kind of a torsion bar. But this knife here uses a flipper. And the flipper with that assisted opening works much better than the opening holes in my opinion. The worst of the three, honestly, is the Unsub, because you can see there's very little cutout space compared to this one here. So it's harder to get your thumb in on the Unsub here as opposed to the other two. So they all still function. They're great user knives, but the Citation with its flipper, super easy to manipulate. So this blade here is also different in that it has a tanto edge, and it's plain edge, which is nice to see because a lot of consumer knives are the default combo edge. And I think this knife here, what is this one called again? The Flak. The Flak is this one. This one is only available with the combo edge as far as I know. But luckily I was able to get this one plain edge as well, and they cut beautifully. And honestly, even though I bought this knife a while ago, I hadn't made a video yet because I was waiting for some feedback from Benchmade. Because when I bought this knife, I wanted to do a video, but I wanted to give you some more information on it. So I actually emailed Benchmade customer service and asked what steel these three knives use. Because I thought it was 9CR13, but then I couldn't find my source for where I initially thought that was. So I'm not 100% sure what steel is used in these knives. So I emailed Benchmade customer service. I got a quick reply, and it was from one of the representatives. Said she would check with the development team or the PR team, I forget who, and she would get back to me. Unfortunately, that was about 2 months ago, and I sent one follow-up email with no response. So I'm guessing that we're just on our own and it's a mystery steel. I mean, at the very worst, it's a 440 or 420 steel. But more than likely, it's probably an 8CR13, 9CR13, 7CR13, some kind of Chinese knife steel. Because it definitely is made in a factory that produces out mass quantities of knives. Because, I mean, if you look at this one right here, the Flak, like I mentioned in its video, it is basically a clone of the Benchmade Vex. And so Benchmade, of course, still producing knives in China, just under the HK line. So the Benchmade Vex was a highly regarded Chinese-produced knife, and so should these be. These aren't going to be as well known, though, because number one, they're the HK line. And number two, they're only sold in limited outlets. So I see a purpose for these knives, though. Under the HK line, I think that, of course, are aimed towards law enforcement, with just the names of them, like the Unsub right here. One of my viewers for the last video for this one mentioned unsub is a police term that's used to describe subjects or perpetrators type of a deal. And this one being here called the Citation, you can kind of see they're leaning towards that law enforcement community. And if a law enforcement officer was to pick up one of these knives at Big 5 on sale, they would not be underserved by it. It's a good knife. There's really nothing wrong with them. They're fairly solid knives. I mean, they're not perfect. For a knife aficionado, a knife fanatic. And so just some of the little downsides, they're kind of heavy for their size. This one here has a blade length of about 3.4 inches, and the overall length of this knife here is about 7 5/8, 7 3/4, right in that area. So it's a good medium-sized knife. Would do great for anyone in uniform trying to use it. I see no fault with it. All three of the knives come up with rock solid lockup. The assisted opening, once you wear it in, it's perfect. There's really nothing wrong with that spring bar. Being a tinkerer, I did try to open up all three of these knives, but I will say these screws on the frames are very hard to remove, and I'm afraid I would strip them out trying to remove them, and I wouldn't be able to reassemble the knife, so I abandoned that idea. So best of luck if you try to do that. This knife right here, you can see the thumb studs also serve as a blade stop, and on the G10 you can see a little bit of damage, I guess you can call it. And I don't know if that's from the thumb studs or just from hitting things outside of my pocket, because this is the only part exposed. So I wanted to mention that. But again, G10 and steel frame should have no problem with wear. But again, those thumb studs are going to be bashing into it over and over. But still, no play. Perfect. I didn't weigh these knives in my other videos, so I'm going to figure we'll take a family weigh-in and see how they do. So let's bring this over here. We got 0. So the Citation, it weighs in, I don't know if you guys can see that, there we go, 4.62 ounces for the Citation. For the Unsub, this one here weighs 4.64. So these two are very similar in size and weight. Let's look at the Flak, which is an older model. Alright, 5.21, so it's a little bit heavier. But again, these are not lightweight knives, and they're not advertised as such. They're advertised as duty blades. I mean, you can even tell I wanted to show off the packaging, of course, which I have before as well. No compromise, has all of the slogans on there. So yeah, meant as duty blades, and in that purpose, I think they'll do fine. For a Chinese-produced knife at the sub $20 price point, I don't think you can do a whole lot better. That's really a price point I like to hit on for my videos. So you can see a lot of the knives I've reviewed are kind of in that area. Not all of them, but most of them are. So feel free to pick this up. Go to Big 5 Sporting Goods, their website. Again, wait till they go on sale. Don't pay full price. And when you go to their website, you might want to buy more than one at a time so you can qualify for free shipping, because it's no fun paying $7.95, $8.95 to ship one knife. Whereas I think if you spend over $50 or something, it's free shipping. So you might as well pick up 2 knives. Any of these 3 would be good, and enjoy them. There is one knife in this collection that I have not picked up yet, and that is the H&K Espionage. And that one is also a flipper, combo edge blade. I think it's a little bit larger in size, maybe a smidge more blade length, and maybe that one's going to have to wait until the next Big 5 sale goes on. I'm not too sure if I'm going to get it or not. But at this point, I'm very happy with a collection of 3 H&K knives made by Benchmade, produced in China. All 3 are really good knives, but if I had to pick any one of these going out, At this point, I would probably choose the Citation just because of the flipper. A little easier to open. Before I had the Citation, between these two right here, honestly, I probably would choose the Unsub, and that's simply because even though it's harder to open with the handle not recessed, I do enjoy the plain edge better. So that is all for these knives right here. Feel free to ask me any questions if you'd like to. If you want to request any more videos, feel free to. This one, I'm glad someone requested it because I just happened to buy that knife as well. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.